decided to take a quick look at the new hero on the PTR. His name is Baptiste. I'm going to go ahead and give my first impressions of this character and try to analyze where I think he'll fit into the meta. So it looks like his primary fire is a quick burst shot.
No way.
This is actually the first time this type of firing mechanism has been in the game. His alternative fire seems to just be a heal grenade. I'm gonna go ahead and let these bots get pretty low to see if I can heal them up with this right click shot here. Now originally it looked like the grenades were green, but it turns out that might have just been an error or a color saturation issue in the video, and they are in fact yellow. So these grenades only heal, they don't do any damage. His primary damage source is just his primary fire burst shot, which with headshots is extremely strong, and it takes about 3 rounds of burst to kill a 200 HP hero. It seems like the last bullet doesn't... Yeah, it seems to be pretty quick burst. There's a bit of recoil with it. This is me just standing with it still. There's a slight recoil. It goes exactly back to where you had it. So it's similar to the McCree recoil, where it's kind of mostly aesthetic purposes. So if you keep your mouse steady, it's going to keep going back to where you had it. So try to aim just below, like, the neck. That way you can get all 3 headshots. Yeah, so that's pretty dope. So it looks like his main ability, his shift ability, is kind of like a healing boost. And it kind of regenerates your allies for a temporary amount of time. Now that had a pretty big cooldown. I'm going to use it one more time to try and check that cooldown. And here we go. So that's a 15-second cooldown. So that's a pretty big cooldown for an AoE heal. Now I'm not sure how big the AoE is. I think it's like a one-time AoE. You may be able to move out of it. I'll have to test that in game to really see if you can move out of that AoE. So let's try to see how... Okay, so that might be only 10 meters. Let's see, I think it's only about 10 meters, which is similar to Lucio's aura. Let's test it right here. So we got 20 meters, 30 meters, that's 10 meters apart. Yeah, so it looks like it goes about 10 meters, and it's a single time. Everybody in that 10 meters, I think, gets healed by it over time. So it's a quick kind of sustained heal. Think of it similar to Lucio's aura or Brigitte's aura effects, but it doesn't seem to move. It seems to be in one place. And then his secondary ability is invincibility. So it looks like this last little chunk of health that the allies have
Immortality bubbles down.
Doesn't seem to go away. Let's see if I can get a better look at it once this cooldown goes down. So hopefully this bot doesn't die. I can get a good look at it. So it had a decent cooldown. Alright, let's get it right now. Oh, okay, so it looks like it's a tossed thing, so it might be... It's gonna be one of those things where you'll be able to peel for your ally with it. Toss it towards your ally and peel for them in a situation where they're being dove. So this is gonna be a pretty strong anti-dive or a pretty strong, you know... Honestly, this might be a good goats counter type ability, because if your team's getting rushed, if you stay in this and keep brawling, now it could either strengthen goats or weaken goats. I honestly... Those seem to go hand in hand, where it seems like something could counter goats, but at the same time, you might just play it in goats. So, interesting to see how some pros will use that ability in particular. Alright, so his ultimate is where things get really interesting. Alright, so it's kind of projected, almost like a Mei wall. and it's supposed to increase the damage going through the matrix. So once this bot revives, we'll see how fast it takes to take it out. Alright, that was pretty fast. The full health bot, and I barely touched it. So that is going to be pretty interesting. In the video it showed a Tracer easily dispatch a Roadhog. So headshots in criticals going through the matrix are going to be pretty powerful. Now it seems like it's kind of small, but it's in a fixed position, so you might be able to rotate and just shoot through it. Let's see if I can get it real quick. Alright, so I'm gonna try and use it here and rotate around it to get shots. Wow, okay. Okay. So that's pretty snappy. That turns those headshots into one-shot kills on these 200 HP training bots. So yeah, that's Baptiste. I'm gonna try and take a look at him in an actual game. So I actually missed it. He has another ability. It's kind of a passive ability. When he crouches, he charges up a boost jump, which allows him to get up to high ground or to help follow teammates that are probably, you know, more mobile, such as Winston. He's able to jump across areas. It's a bit of a slow jump, but it's definitely something worth noting and will really help being able to follow up on targets or to help support allies that may have moved to a high ground area that you can't reach. So just thought I would note that before ending the video. So here we are on First Point Hollywood playing Baptiste, and we're going to see... Oh, okay. We're going to see how he fares in an actual PvP match. So we've got a McCree on our team, which I was reloading. So it looks like when you're reloading, you can't do your ultimate fire, which is going to be something that players are going to have to watch out for that are inexperienced with reloading mechanisms in their healing. So yeah, they were able to break through the choke pretty fast because they had that invincibility, and so that allows you to play around corners a lot more aggressively if you have a Baptiste on your team. So let's see if we can't get back in and defend this first point. It looks like a good half of my team is still on the point in a team fight. Mads finally just got a kill there, so let's see if we can't get in and help. We've got an ulti here, so let's just drop my field in and let's see if I can't get the soldier. So tracking is going to be really integral to this guy's kit, and having a good ability to track targets and to land consistent headshots and hit scan abilities in general is going to be very good for using this hero. So keep that in mind when playing Baptiste. Let's see if I can't get back in. It looks like someone he tossed stairs all the way up there. So yeah, his jump allows you to play on high ground very efficiently. And you can also avoid getting fragged by a Dragon Strike, which is insanely good if you're stuck in a grav. This is going to be a huge nerf to grav if you're running Baptiste. Almost Baptiste is going to be a must pick in my opinion if you're up against a team running a Zarya, because that field could mean a clutch that could be a clutch field to throw in a Graviton to help you survive. So it looks like his method of healing is primarily his method of self-healing is primarily his shift ability there. He's not able to heal himself with the grenades. It's going to be very important to keep in mind that you're not able to spam the grenades down at your feet and keep yourself alive when you're in a team fight. You will be able to do it to your allies though. Just keep in mind that you only have 10 grenades and then you'll be put into a reload animation. Yeah, so his shift doesn't heal you very fast, so you want to play around your invincibility field and your shift to try and keep yourself alive. And not go for mad flanks like I just did, unless you're for sure gonna get help from your team. Though with his shift ability, he is able to get out and do some pretty wild stuff. Yeah. So that was Baptiste. Very strong in chokes. Oh, and you can shoot down the invincibility field. Okay, that's huge. So that is definitely something I'm going to make sure everybody knows, that the invincibility field is killable. So, alright, thank you for tuning into the video. Like and subscribe for more Overwatch and Overwatch League content. I'm going to try to start posting once a week. I'm going to try to get my VOD reviews out. And I'm going to attempt to keep track and make videos on huge updates to the game, such as this, that I think are going to change the OWL meta. So, thank you very much for tuning in.